here, so that now allows us to zip the zipper, okay, which is nice. Now I really want to zip this so I can then finish this corner here, because I don't want to just leave a hole there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and like turn this inside out on itself. This is the weird part, you know, but you'll see if we do this, we get this little triangle piece here, and I want to take and center the seam. Can you see that? Okay, I've got center the seam on the zipper. Okay, now I do want to close the zipper, so I'm going to actually change this foot and put a zigzag foot on, because I have to secure the zipper so it doesn't undo itself. Okay, so here I'll get this zigzag foot here, and I'll switch to the zigzag stitch, which is basically controlled by the width of this. And I don't want any stitch, I want it to just go in place. So I'm going to put it at 0 stitch length. And I'm going to put this at the widest zigzag we can get, because your straight stitch and zigzag are the same zigzag thing. I mean, same stitch selection, sorry. My high quality vocabulary here is helping, isn't it? Okay, so what I want to do here is that I want to, that's centered on there. I'm going to just put a pin in each side to keep it there. This is the easier side. The other side we have to sew together. So, all right. So I'm going to sew that maybe right around here. I'm just going to have it go back and forth over the teeth. It's basically making a zipper stop so that the zipper won't pull open from the bottom. So I'm going to go here and put this down, and the zipper will be right in the center of the foot. And I'm going to do this by hand at first to make sure that it'll go over the zipper, because I don't want to. Yeah, I'm going to do this by hand, because the width of yours is 5 millimeters, and the zipper teeth are a little wider. So I'm kind of wiggling the zipper underneath the foot, just so that the needle doesn't hit the teeth of the zipper. Okay. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little thread tack right here, a little bar tack there. Then what I can do is I can cut these threads. All right. Now I also know where that that stops. Now what I want to do is I want to take and finish this So I'm going to go and put this, since this is the closest side to the outside of the bag, I'm going to put the fabric there. But I'm going to sew it from this side. Okay, now I'm going to put this back to straight stitch. And I can see where I sewed the zipper, because that's going to help me make sure that I don't sew through here. All right, now where's that pin? There's a pin here. Okay, so I'm going to start sewing even. I'm going to sew a line from here to here and include this fabric that's underneath here. So I'm going to put the presser foot down.
You're sewing over the zipper?
I'm going to sew over the zipper, but not the teeth. Oops, I got to change my stitch length. Duh. Okay, here we go.
So you're sewing on the binding of the tape of the zipper, but not the teeth.
Right, I'm not going to sew on the teeth, and I can tell where the teeth start. So I'm just going to back stitch and go forward. Then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to hop over, and then start I pulled the pin out from underneath. Just start on the other side of the zipper and do the same thing, okay? And I back stitched. Okay, now I'm going to lift this up and pull this away. Cut the thread. I'm going to take my nice heavy scissors here, and I'm going to cut kind of like between the zipper teeth. So it's nice to have a nice tailor's point like this. It's nice and sturdy. Okay, so now I'm going to take and fold this up. So you see that finishes the end of the zipper nicely. I'm going to fold this up, and I'm going to fold it like this. And then I'm going to fold it again like this. Okay, now that's probably a little wide, too wide, so I'm just going to cut a little bit of this off. Then I'm going to fold this down like that. Okay, so it's wrapping this end. Now I'm going to sew it from this side. So this is a little manipulation. See if you can get this right. Okay,
Whoever's
so now
doing this, good luck.
So do you see, stitching the ditch? I want to stitch right here next to this fabric here. And I'm going to skip over the zipper teeth again. So I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to go like this. Back stitch like this to the edge. Go forward. Get to the teeth and back stitch. Go forward. Now I'm going to stop, needles heading down. Lift the presser foot, hop over again. See? Go forward a couple. Go back a couple. Go forward to the edge and back stitch. Okay, now I'm going to stop with the needle in the right position. I'm going to cut the thread right next to the fabric here, like that, underneath. Cut these original threads, okay? Now I'm going to go underneath here, and I'm just going to trim this off, lift that up and trim that off. It's not going to wear or come apart. Now what happens, you see your zipper end is completely finished and encased, and then when you look down here, there's this nice little kind of indent for it, and the zipper is lined up with the seam. Okay, so you see then this whole thing goes down into the bag a little bit, the zipper panel. But when it's zipped, it can act like a gusset because, you know, it can rise up or whatever like that. But this way, if you look inside the bag, it's all finished underneath at the end of the zipper. Now, the other end's a little harder. That's why I started on this end, okay? Show you the easy one. Then, you know, you think you got it easy. Okay, now here again, you see I left this open so that I can rotate this around and be able to rotate this. So what happens is that I lift this up, then I'm gonna take and rotate it on itself like this, all right? So it's like a really kind of convoluted thing. I'm lifting it up and rotating it around the outside of the bag like this, creating this little peak, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is, you see the seam is right here. I'm gonna put the zipper right at that seam. I'm going to put a pin in here to hold it. Then I'm going to rotate this down. It's like making a corner on a napkin or something. I'm not really sure what to call it. But I'm basically folding that like that and putting the zipper onto the seam. See, it's a 90-degree corners here. I'm making a diagonal fold and bringing that around and putting it on the seam and matching up the tops of the zippers, okay, like this. Then I'll put a pin in here. I'm going to go back to the machine, put it on the widest setting, put this back down to 0 for the stitch length. And I'm going to try and zigzag these puppies together. Okay?
Just like you did on the other one.
Yeah, and I'm going to try and do it just above the teeth here, make it a little easier. Okay, so I'll put that down. And as long as I can catch the zipper tape, that's all I care about. And, of course, we're doing black on black, which is such a great way to demonstrate anything, you know. So I just zigzag back and forth to my heart's content. And now it's held together. I don't know if you can see this, but it's held together right here just above the zipper stops. Now I'm going to take and cut the threads. It's always hard to remember to cut the original threads, but they were right there, so that makes it a little easier. Now I can take this, and I'll take another one of these. Oh, let's get the lyrical looking one. There we go. Okay, so now I can see on this side where the it's hard to see because you've got all these lines here, but there's a little thread going back and forth here. So that's going to be what I aim for my stitching, okay? So I'm going to put this on this side, the zipper side. You always put this on the zipper side, okay? Not on this side, because this is the side that might be seen from the outside. So I'm going to flip this over like this and put this kind of centered it. So it's good to have extra blocks, okay? This is what we do with those extra blocks at the very end. This is my own invention, so if you guys, if you can think of something better, let me know. But it does look nice. But you see, this is why I don't sew this all the way down, because this thing rotates and allows me to manipulate that. Okay, so now I'm going to sew a line. Let me grab a pencil. I'm going to sew a line. Here's the stitching. I'm basically going to sew a line right across here. You see? That's going to be where I sew. And it's going to go through the fabric underneath. So now I'm going to move this.
The zipper again?
I'm going to skip over it. But you see, I can tell where it is because I have the stitching right there holding it together. Back to 2.5 and back to straight, right in the center line stitching. So you see, I can see the line right down the middle of the foot. So I go here, back to the edge, go up to where that's stitched, and back stitch. Actually, this is just above the zipper. So I can sew all the way across. Oh, isn't that fun? We're living dangerously. It's so much fun. Okay, so then now I'm going to snip these. Now I'm going to shorten this because this has to wrap around it, so I don't need all this stuff here. So I'm just going to cut that about even with the fabric. Now the fabric's going to come up here. I'm going to fold this like this, and then I'm going to fold this like this. This sticks out a little further than I want, so I'm just going to trim that.
So this is exactly what you did on the other end.
That's what I do on the other end. The only hard part is getting those together, because on the other end, the zipper is already zipped together. Here we have to get it together. So I'm folding it in on, see, I take and I fold this up at the stitching line. See? Then I fold this in, then I fold it down. Okay?
And then you're just
Like
gonna
a little
go across
diaper.
the stitch
Okay.
in the ditch again.
So, yeah, then we're going to stitch in the ditch. Try and keep these zipper pieces together. And I'll start here, back stitch here to the edge, go here, and since the teeth aren't in the way here, I can go all the way like that, back stitch, take a lever at the top. Then I'm going to cut here, cut here, cut here, and here, and then I'll just reach underneath here and trim that extra little bit off. And then, you see, that way, if you see inside the bag at the end of the zipper, look at how nice that looks. It looks really good. If it sticks, if you even see that. Usually you don't see that. But then what I like to do is once I'm done with this, you see how nicely that sits down there? I like to put a ribbon in here. You could put a black ribbon or white ribbon, or if you want to jazz it up, you could put some red ribbon or something. But I like to put a ribbon through here so I can have something easier to grab onto and pull it and open and shut it. Okay?